Hey kids, I'm Mr. What's It to Ya, and today I am the most newest hire for our CEO's position for a company I definitely did not make up after our former CEO kind of resigned. Yeah, that. First thing I want to address is that, oh my God, I got a camera. I got a camera. I'm so excited. I'm so happy about this. I love how high definition it is. And I've been playing with this thing for the past 2 days. I'm having so much fun right now. I bet you can see like the brown spot under my pupil. Can you see it? Also, I hate the whole YouTube talk about like, oh, just start videos from your phone. It'll be fine. Which I have no problem with. Like that's the start for pretty much everybody. But for me, I had the means to get what I really wanted. So why not get it, you know? But okay, we're done with that now because I'm getting sidetracked a little bit. Come on. Now, if you can tell by the title, I obviously have a lot of grievances of being a leftist and being a part of leftist spaces. Not that I would have it any other way, because the opposing side of that is literally aligning myself with people who are plotting for the downfall of me and people who look like me for absolutely no reason. But with this whole hitman Luigi Mangione situation, I think it really highlighted a prominent issue that we're having on the left wing right now. And I'm sure there's like a proper concept or like name for this, but what I like to call it is egotistical intellectualism. You see, when leftists engage with other people, even fellow leftists, a lot of us tend to play the game of who is the smartest person in the room.
Oh, of course. We're a little more progressive and ahead of the curve here in San Francisco.
You can only hear a debate bro say so many times, dude, do you even read theory? Before you might have acknowledged that, I don't think I can build with you. And I wouldn't say that this example is a strong reference to what I just said, but I do want to talk about this one guy that made a comment on Ben Shapiro's take with this whole CEO murder.
The Ben Shapiro comment sections right now are like, I just realized that your whole business model is trying to turn people against each other. Just want to say all the leftists on here. Shh. Let them have this. Okay, it's like hunting deer. You don't go, oh, we've been trying to tell you this. You let that deer graze just for a second before you take the shot. Okay, because the issue's not left versus right. It's up versus down. Let these people digest what they just saw. Because you have to understand that conservatives are not inherently unintelligent people. They're actually very hardworking and intelligent. The problem is that identity politics have really pulled wool over their eyes. And for them, it's not just the CEO dying. It is the tariffs bill. It is the cabinet positions that are being picked right now. And they're very close to the point. Do not sit in judgment.
I think he gave a lot of perspective, and I do appreciate that he acknowledges that these people are not dumb and they're actually very intelligent. But what I think this take is lacking is that, have you considered that maybe these people are already at that point? Like they already know this? Like Luigi went to an Ivy League school, is a Nepo baby, and was caught reposting tweets that were right-leaning. But he was the one to act as an anarchist and plot his moves from start to finish. The fact that he planted monopoly money in his backpack and that he targeted a CEO of a health insurance company, and how even in his manifesto he addresses the chronic pain that him and his mother goes through because of the action of these health insurance companies, despite having the status to say otherwise. And that's just to name a few of the details we've gotten within this week. He has calculated everything to a T, which now becomes confusing because surely these are the actions of someone who would be more left-leaning, right? But I think what this conundrum comes from is the fact that a lot of leftists have kind of made it up in their mind that their opposites are not as equally as intelligent as they are. And I think this can be best described in the relationship between these two characters in a most recently released game called Mouthwashing. Yes, there's a bit of mouthwashing glazing going on in this video. It's a good storytelling, okay? Sue me. The video game Mouthwash follows the staff of a futuristic space delivery service called Pony Express. And they slowly begin to lose their minds throughout the course of the game because their spacecraft was hit by a meteor, causing their captain to be severely injured and for them to be stranded in bumfuck nowhere space. Of that crew is co-captain Jimmy and Nurse Anya. Jimmy is impulsive, aggressive, and selfish, while Nurse Anya is timid, patient, and more considerate. And in this game, we play in the POV of Jambalaya and Curly. And throughout the playthrough, Jehovah's Witness is constantly belittling Anya and her profession as being a nurse, considering that she had failed to get into medical school about 8 times. But if you have seen as many breakdown videos of Mouthwash as I have, you start to notice that Anya was more than capable to be in her own profession, unlike Jackoff being co-captain. Okay, I'm gonna stop not saying his name because this is probably becoming a little confusing for some. Because despite Anya failing to get into medical school so many times, she somehow managed to keep an overcooked Curly alive way beyond his expiration date using only a first aid kit before she inevitably ends up unaliving herself. And after that, not long did the rest of the crew follow suit. And all of which that had transpired could have been easily avoided had Jimmy actually viewed Anya as a person. And I bring this up because I've been noticing as well that a lot of leftists has been doing this as of lately, and it's all at the detriment of our movement. You hear so many talk about community building and meeting people where they are, but you're not supposed to do it in a sense to where you become like a white savior, especially to people that might be more qualified to talk about these things than you are. Yes, I do believe that there are some out there that are just dim-witted and are blatantly refusing to do better, but I think that's what makes people so captivated by Maggioni. He's not in the same position of the average US citizen, which is struggling, and yet he also got cheated by the system. And I think the most captivating of it all is that he's not talking in a form of entitlement or that his word is above all, you know?
That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
If you read or heard his manifesto throughout, he's airing out his grievances, but he does it along with the ones of the people. He's blurring the lines between what is parallel to what is linear, telling you that he's human and not some higher deity because of his class status and or education. That of which he didn't even speak on in his manifesto. Like, people had to look that up separately. And I'm not trying to glaze this motherfucker, but what I'm saying is, on the left side of the political spectrum, we could be making these changes if we just had enough people acknowledge that there's room to grow, that we're not at the finish line, and that maybe we can take things out of their playbook that would be susceptible to speaking to the people, because whatever we're doing now is clearly not working. The election results and the assassination came out the way it did because we refused to recognize the skill, reach, and capability of our opponents, which results in them leading the masses and us thinking that we couldn't have seen this coming. And let me just end the video with this. We are not the sole reason as to why we are seeing such a phenomenon. There are so many facets as to why this is happening. The main one being that people get fed up to a point where they feel emboldened to do something about it, to change it. But the goal should be to embolden them now and not when they're fed up, when it's too late. And we will be able to do that if we just learn to switch strategies. But when you refuse to believe that there are things that you can say or do better, ever so slowly without even realizing it, you will turn into the people that we are actively trying to fight against, which is ones that don't believe that anything needs to be changed. I am So Bright, the Chronic Complainer, and I am out.